Hello, crypto boys and ghouls, and welcome back to the channel, Tales from the Cryptmancer, where we feature content on play and earn games on the blockchain, such as Splinterlands. And in today's video, I just wanted to do a quick segment here on the new Christmas holiday sale promo card, Arkemis the Bear. It is on the QA server as of last night, and you can see its stats here. We'll quickly review those and go over two quick points that I wanted to just put out this morning out to the community before I started my day. So this will be a quick video. But the stats here are at max level for this common card: 12 mana, 4 melee damage, 4 speed with 12 health, and it has Protect, Having, Force Field, and Enrage at the max level. Now this is a super powerful common card here. Now granted, its mana is expensive, so you're not going to be able to use it in every battle, but the battles you do use it in, it's guaranteed to probably be a force to be reckoned with. Now, the one thing I'll say to start with here is I think this card, if the stats are left as is, this is going to be a very desirable card to have. To give you an example, I could see it being very similar in price, ultimately, similar to another neutral card. In this case, the neutral card being the common Sandworm here. The Sandworm here at max level is 9 mana, 7 melee damage, 4 speed, 7 health with Sneak, Piercing, and Snare. Now this is a very good card, pretty much at all levels in the game, but it really shines at the highest level when it gets Piercing here at the Diamond and Champion level. Now just for perspective, the Sandworm here at a per BCX pricing right now of 79 cents. This is a pricey card. And we can pull up the calculator here to give you an idea of what 79 cents is times 400 BCX. A max level copy of this card is $316. I honestly think if the stats for Arkemis are kept the way they are, definitely a price range for a max level copy of that card could certainly be $316. So that makes it interesting right now with the group buys and the Chaos Legion packs being sold before the holidays here. It could be very lucrative to potentially buy packs to get value. For example, if somehow Arkemis the Bear here comes in at a valuation in the marketplace somewhere around the Sandworm, let's say anywhere between 79 cents to $1, because the Sandworm was selling for over $1 most recently, and back in the day over $2. Yeah, I mean, that's a good deal considering you can get a pack essentially at a group buy right now for around maybe $1.50 or less, depending on how you're doing airdrop calculations. So that's the first point, is that there could be extreme value with this promo card here between now and the holidays, which might make participating in a group buy pretty interesting. The second thing I'll say, because this card is on the QA server and is being tested right now, I will say that I am a little concerned that the same day that the legendary new water summoner is airdropped, Possibilis the Wise, into the game, that this card hits the QA server, and it is honestly a hard counter to what I think many were seeing as a strength to Possibilis, being that reach melee play, being able to put a high offensive tank in the second position with reach, allowing it to go to work and potentially adding things like Inspire along with a trampling opportunity monster or two. So what we have here is, if you say a sweet spot for Possibilis might have been, let's say 41 mana or higher, and now you put a neutral frontline tank into the game that has Having plus Force Field the same day, I think that's a mistake, honestly. I think that really hurts the value of Possibilis long term, because not only is Force Field, a frontline Force Field tank, a strong addition from a neutral perspective to all splinters, because we look at splinters here on splinter cards, if we look for the, sorry, let me just pull it up here, the tanks that have force field. If you look at these tanks that are in the game, every splinter has a force field tank as an option: fire, water, earth, life, and death. But if you look at these cards, very few are standard frontline position 1 tanks. Really, the main one that you'd probably think would be the Night Ghoul in Death, which, is not super meta right now. You could also play O'Shaughnessy in the 1 position for water, and also potentially see Slip spawn up there with Taunt from time to time in the 1 position. But, the takeaway here is the neutral card gives every splinter a first position tank with force field. Now, force field coupled with the halving is a double whammy for Possibilis. And why is that the case? Because let's say you have cards that do 5 or more damage at the front of your lineup or in the reach position with Possibilis, which is obviously what you would want to do in many cases. Cards that we're talking about here would be the Demon Shark, the Lamel Refugee, things like the Chain Golem, Kraken, Goblin Mech. The list goes on. Those are just some of the maybe more common ones that you might think of to put in the 1 or 2 position with a reach Possibilis combination. Now, what happens when you bring in a neutral frontline tank with force field and halving into the equation the same day you release that legendary airdrop summoner is, well, the halving is, for example, let's say you put the Kraken up front or the Demon Shark up front with Inspire or it's Enraged. The halving, if you don't have a cleanse, is going to neutralize the 1 position tank for Possibilis. And the reach position tank, let's say it's a Goblin Mech or a Chain Golem with Inspire, something along those lines, with Piercing. Those would be great cards, Piercing and Stun in the number 2 position, for example. Well, now the halving not only has neutralized the front 1 position tank with Possibilis, but it's now force fielding the 2nd position reach monster with Possibilis. And that's one of Possibilis's 3 legendary abilities, is giving 1 card reach. If that 1 card you give reach happens to have 5 or more damage, well, then you're kind of out of luck here with this counter here being available to all splinters to be able to put in that 1 slot front tank position. So now, not every team for Possibilis is going to use, high mana and going to use, 5 mana, or 5 damage or more, 1 or 2 positioned monsters. But certainly similar to Grandmaster Wraith, I believe Possibilis would be very strong with mana caps at 41 mana or higher for putting together strong melee-based teams with Opportunity and Trample. Now, again, when you introduce Arkemis the Bear the same day that has Halving and Force Field, it kind of dulls the luster a little bit on that summoner that was just released. So I guess my only comment would be, we can do some more testing in the QA server here. I think for a common promo card that's being given away, it's very powerful kit here. It probably needs to be tweaked here, and it probably needs to be tested in tandem quite heavily with Possibilis here, because you wouldn't want to release a legendary airdrop summoner and the same day essentially nerf one of its core strengths. Again, there's certainly low mana Possibilis teams that will work equally well that aren't affected by Force Field or Halving, but again, I think at least a good percentage of strong teams that you could create with Possibilis could be in trouble here if this card goes through as is without further QA testing. So those are my 2 quick points around the value potentially of Arkemis the Bear moving forward if these stats remain and abilities remain, as well as something to be aware of in the QA testing as people are going through that here. I hope this video has been beneficial. Leave your comments here in the video description below. Love to see what you think. And until next time, keep stacking those stats.